And community means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But for us, it means being everywhere and engaging all communities across the city of Toronto. And that could be cultural institutions, that could be educational institutions, that could be artist groups, collectives, whatever that is, but engaging them where they live and getting them to build art where they live and creating destinations within community.
I think we've really expanded to what public art can be relating to and how the community can interact with public art.
It gives people an opportunity to center around something, to have discussions, to maybe even see themselves, one day or even now in the portraitures that are up there. So I think apart from, the connection, the ability to build dialogue, that representation really is kind of grounded in that work, but also kind of giving an opportunity for people to come together.
ArtworxTO really positions itself for the people. I think it puts people first. And that's something that is unique to the program because of the efforts it has made from inception in their strategic plan, to the kinds of people they've involved, to the fact that peer panels exist to ensure that there is an equitable distribution of assets and resources and agency to different people in the city.
ArtworxTO is a big project. Like, it is all over the city, and you don't realize really how big the city is until you start following the ArtworxTO map.
The map consists of artworks that are not just produced and created by the city, but also artworks that are created by community organizations or local arts organizations. And we work collaboratively with artists and local artists to feature as much as we can on this one map. It also engages in local community organizations to get art from the community. So folks, young artists, emerging artists, anyone that wants to feature a piece of public art that's easily accessible can submit their art to the public art map, and we'll feature it.
The ArtworxTO map has embedded itself in these communities that I think were very surprised and happy to receive something new and fresh. And so ultimately, I think public art democratizes art. I think that a lot of people, maybe unfortunately, don't go to galleries. And so public art democratizes art by, instead of trying to get you to go to a gallery, it brings the art to you.
There are many creatives who flock to Toronto. It's seen as this cultural hub, it's seen as kind of this international city, and as such, a lot of artists, a lot of marginalized artists will flock here in search of opportunities, in search of, a chance to kind of get their careers going, and public art kind of goes out of its way to demonstrate that Toronto is a place that can provide that.
It allows the community to come together and create dialogue. I think dialogue is a big part of community, being able to talk to other people, be able to see themselves in artwork as well, being able to select stories that we feel are impactful to Scarborough, the residents of Scarborough, being able to see faces on walls where, people who live in that community can identify with either that person, the way they look, or that person's story is really important. So I would say representation is a big part of why we think art is important in Toronto.
Its focus on different regions outside of the downtown core makes it a very unique value to the city, especially during COVID. Artworks is prompting people to kind of get out and see things in a healthy, safe way, but perhaps as a community again. And I think that's a good introduction to get people to reemerge into society in a healthy, in a positive, loving way.
As part of the community cultural hubs, which are embedded within community, there's a couple of functions there. One is there's beautiful art there. There's wonderfully curated exhibitions and all of these hubs that have great artwork, and people can visit and learn and engage in the art, like it, dislike it, whatever they like.
Public art has a a strong factor in the development of cities, of communities, and I think it's something that's necessary to have everywhere. And I say that in the aspect where, when you can go into neighborhoods and art is not always common in terms of something that you see or something that you talk about, it really changes the DNA for community to be able to place work there.
Public art does bring people out of their homes. They want to go and see these things, and that makes us more alive. It makes the city more energized. Public art is just so essential, and maybe more so now than ever, just because people have been cooped up in their homes, grappling with a global pandemic, and now finally getting out of their houses, and the idea of being able to emerge from our cocoons where we've been huddled and come upon a piece of art that wasn't there yesterday is an amazing experience, and it's just exactly what we need.
I don't know if public art is one of those things that people think about often, but when it's in your face and you see it, then you have something to talk about. Like, there's a dialogue that's created. So from the discussions that we've been having with the community and the community's been having amongst themselves by looking at the art, I think it told Sid and I, this is something that was really needed in this community, and so we're glad that we did it.
We want to engage the creative communities across the city of Toronto because it's thriving right now. It's absolutely thriving. And even through COVID, the arts and culture community and sector has led us through the pandemic and now is leading us out of the pandemic. And I think we need to applaud them for that and shore them up. We need to give them help, and that's part of what ArtworxTO is all about.
Artworks is giving people a chance, to engage in something that's bigger than any one individual. I think working towards this collective effort to bring art to the public motivates people differently. The kind of art you want to create, curate, consume, I feel like empowers people similar to myself and my individual experience. It just empowers you to really wear your heart on your sleeve.
People have kind of been disconnected in ways, but connected in ways. So this is kind of that way to come back and build community again.